another strike from illegal criminal. Listen to this video clip.
Proven right. And the so-called human rights experts, the social media activists, and the corrupt politicians who always defend illegal foreigners have been proven dead wrong. A hijacked building, obviously hijacked by illegal foreigners, was raided by the authorities, and guess what they found there? Boxes and boxes of stolen medication worth over R1 million. Guess what they found there? Drugs. I'm talking about medication meant for our clinics. Medication meant for the children of South Africa. Medication meant for our grandmothers. Medication meant for the most vulnerable here in South Africa. But no, instead of that medication going to those people, it was instead kept like a loot in some hijacked building. But somehow, there are still a lot of people here who always defend these illegal foreigners when we say the only thing that they are doing is stealing our medication, taking it across the border to go and sell it in their home countries.
These medication boxes that were confiscated, as well as marijuana or dagga, if you may, that was also part of this particular package. In fact, for more information as to how these boxes were discovered, we'll now be speaking to the MMC of Public Safety, as you mentioned, just to get an idea as to how was this operation, since when were you investigating this particular house? We do understand it's a hijacked building, and it does seem abandoned. You know, you can tell that it was a house. But now, how did you then find these suspects, and how many suspects in total, if you may?
No, thank you very much for that. Good evening to the listeners as well. So I was with my councillors, the councillors in the city, and there was been a tip-off that there was quite a number of buildings that had been hijacked here at the Houghton. So we're doing our own stake-up just to check what's happening. So we saw, when we entered on this other house, we just saw some suspicious individuals that were here, looking at they're doing the cross-border, the package. And when we're searching and asking questions, we actually find that there's some medicine. There was one box that we saw, illegal medicine, and then we decided that we're going to call the JMPD to really come on site as well, the CCTV and the JMP TRU. Then when we search inside the house, we find all this medicine here, which is close about 1 million roughly, and all of that. And also actually got a bit of dagga as well, so you can look at about plus minus 1M, 2M, something around there. It's quite a very big rack.
So this house was a base, basically. Now this is where they bring these illicit goods here, and then they transport them cross-border.
Yes, it's these... most of these houses, they've actually been hijacked, and some of them are used for carrying these goods, for the cross-border. Some of these guys, they actually ran away from the city because we've been doing the operation with the councillors, Te and Councillor Sihle, because they're the councillor around the area. So they ran away now. They're actually coming into the hijacked houses, and we follow them here.
Well, thank you so much, MMC. We'll leave it there for now as we try and get more information with regards to that, Juliet. I'm actually going to move out of shot once more, just so you see what is currently happening. In fact, this is quite a huge building. It's raining right now, and it's also quite dark, so our viewers might not be able to see the full picture, but it's quite a huge compound. The yard is actually really big, and you'd also notice some of the things that are here at the moment. You see some bed mattresses, you see a number of cars. Actually, we counted about 8 cars in one of these yards alone. They are now confiscating those boxes, and then the estimated value at this point will only be confirmed once the counting and all these boxes have been accounted for. It also seems as though this is a syndicate. It happens most of the time, and for these individuals, there was a stakeout by law enforcement officials as well as officials from the city of Johannesburg.
And this comes as no surprise, because as South Africans, we've been fighting this issue for years. We've been speaking about this issue for years. We've been begging the government to act. So this is not a surprise that these people have stolen boxes of medication, and they were found stored like a loot somewhere in a hijacked building. That's not a surprise. It's really not. And it's sad because This is the medication that whenever our grandmothers go to the clinic, they are told there's no stock. This is the very medication that they should be receiving. It's really sad. It's a sad reality that we are living under here in South Africa, because every time when we speak, we are going to be called names. We are going to be called xenophobic. We are going to be told, but not all of them. You know, it's really hard being a South African in 2025. You know, but one thing I know is that we will never stop talking. Whether you call us xenophobic, whether you call us Afrophobic, whatever you want to call us, we will never stop talking about these things, because we are always being proven right. Who's delusional now? The people who defend these illegal foreigners, or us as South Africans when we tell you that these people are stealing our medication? Who's delusional when you are going to deny that fact even when there's proof? We are not delusional as South Africans. We know what we are talking about. And these types of operations always reveal the truth, that South Africans know what they are speaking about. We are the ones who live under these realities. So we don't care what you call us. You can call us all types of names. But the fact is, we are not going to stop speaking about this. But then, you know, let's be honest right now. This raid didn't only expose illegal foreigners, but it also exposed the people who have been gaslighting us. The corrupt politicians, the activists who always defend these illegal foreigners are quiet right now. They can't explain away stolen state medication worth millions. They can't explain why illegal substances were found there. They can't explain why a hijacked building became a base of operations. And you know why? Because they knew all along about this. They benefit somehow from this nonsense. They knew that South Africans are right. They knew that we have evidence. They knew that this thing is happening everywhere. But they needed us to look like villains so that they can protect their narrative. You know, let's go to the clinic with an ordinary South African for a second. A mother stands in a long queue with her sick child for hours. A diabetic pensioner is told to wait because there's no stock of medication. An injured worker who broke his leg is told to come back again tomorrow because they can't help him today. And while our people suffer, while our people are being failed, criminals are stacking vans with boxes of medication to go and sell in their home countries. Medication that is clearly written, not for sale. And who suffers as a result of all this? South Africans, always. And when we speak, when we try to be loud about this thing, the louder some people defend these illegal foreigners. And we must ask ourselves why. Who benefits from protecting these illegal criminals who steal from our clinics? Who benefits from keeping South Africans quiet? Who benefits? And you know, there's a double standard that really pisses me off here. Because as South Africans, when we break the law, we are arrested immediately. No debate, no excuses, no activist crying online. But when these illegal foreigners break the laws, suddenly we are told to understand their situation. Suddenly we must be compassionate. We must avoid hate. But let me tell you something. You see, stealing medication isn't survival. It's organized crime. Hijacking buildings isn't poverty. It's a takeover. Running drug operations isn't desperation. It's not desperation. It's criminal entrepreneurship. And you know, this double standard is an insult to South Africans who follow the law and survive with dignity and integrity. It's an insult. It's like a foot act to South Africans. And you know, I think as South Africans, we have reached our tipping point right now. We are tired, Shem. We are really, really tired. We are tired of watching our country being looted from both inside and outside. We are tired of these hijacked buildings becoming safe havens for crime. We are tired of our medication disappearing from our clinics. Foreign syndicates operating here in South Africa openly. The government turning a blind eye. And worst part, some fellow South Africans defending these criminals. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Sikhathele bafowethu. And if there's one thing that this raid has exposed, is that South Africans were never crazy. South Africans were never xenophobic. We are still not xenophobic. We are just speaking about the things that some people are too afraid to speak about, or maybe too compromised to speak about. We are not crazy. Let no one, I mean no one, ever silence South Africans when they speak out about such things. Let no one ever guilt trip us for protecting our clinics, for protecting our resources, for fighting for our safety. Let no one ever guilt trip us about that. Because illegal foreigners are running around hijacking buildings and stealing medication isn't my perspective, isn't my opinion. It's a reality. It's a crime that is happening in real time with victims, real South African victims. And you as a South African defending these criminals simply means you are standing against your own people. This is bigger than politics. This is about survival. This is about national dignity. This is about our future and the future of the coming generation. So, the next time someone tries to shame you for speaking out, remember this raid. Remember the stolen medication. Remember the drugs that are killing our brothers and sisters. Remember the lies they always tell us. And then look at them straight in the eyes and say, South Africans have been right all along, and we won't keep quiet anymore. My name is Emmanuel, and this is Mzansi Versity. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Tell me your own thoughts and opinions about everything that I've been speaking about in this episode of The Spotlight. Let's meet again